Hi students, welcome to this class. In this class, we study about the feed water treatment. So it is a second topic of your third module, that is feed water system. So feed water system is a water feeding system to the boiler. It is done in two ways. One is by feeding the water which is left after the boiler. See, if it is from the boiler, it is being used to, water in the boiler is used to produce steam, and after the purpose, that is after running the steam turbine, then the steam will be condensed. So, and it is made as condensed water. So this condensed water is called as return water, and so this is the one source of the feed water system. So there is one more source, that is makeup water. So this makeup water is the fresh water which is raised from your pond or river or lake, etc. And this return water and makeup water together can be fed to the boiler. So this we call as boiler feed water. So return water will be condensed water, and the impurities in the return waters are very less. That is, the dissolved impurities in the feed water should be lesser, so that it will not cause any erosion, scaling, etc. to the boiler. Okay. So feed water is a water feed to the boiler, so that this water will be converted into steam, and from that steam we can run a process, that is we can run a steam turbine to produce electricity. Okay. So you can see here feed water M1 plus M2. So what is the M1 here? M2 is the makeup water and M1 is the boiler feed pump. So where the boiler feed pump comes, it is from condensed steam. So condensed steam, it is being fed to the hot well, and from that it is being fed to the pump. So this is one, that is this we call as the return water. This we call as return water, the water which is returned from the boiler. And this one we call as the makeup water. Makeup water, I told you, the makeup water, it is being taken from the lake, pond, etc. will contain lots of impurities. So these lots of impurities can be fed to the water softening plant. So this water softening plant will remove the impurities and the dissolved gases, and it will remove the impurities, that is dissolved impurities in the water, and it also filter out any silica, etc. materials, that is it will filter out the undissolved materials. Undissolved materials means those materials, undissolved particles means like sand particles, etc., which is being found in a lake. Okay, that it is being filtered out, and it will also filter out the carbon monoxide, calcium carbonate, etc., which is very easily found in the hard water. So this hard water can be easily make up to the soft water. Okay. So that is softening. Softening is being mainly used for the makeup water, and the condensed water is being fed to the hot well, and from that by boiler pump it is being fed to the, so this water which we get from the condensed pump after condensation we call as the return water. So the feed water is having two sources, that is from the return water, and the other is from the makeup water. Fine, I think you got that. And now we see here the boiler feed water is having two sources. One is the return water and another is makeup water. So what is boiler feed? Boiler feed water is a special conditioned water which is fed to the boiler to generate steam or hot water. So see, it is a specially conditioned water. Specially conditioned water. It's being fed to the boiler to generate steam or hot water. Fine. So what are the factors the boiler feed water depends? The boiler feed water depends upon the quantity. It depends upon the not the quantity. It depends upon the quality of makeup water. It depends upon the quality of makeup water and the amount of condensate returned to the boiler. So amount of condensate returned to the boiler and the quality of the makeup water. So in order to increase the quality, we treat it with the water softening plant. So quality of the makeup water and the amount of condensate returned to the boiler. That is the quantity of. So I can summarize like this. It depends upon the quality of makeup water and quantity of condensate water, that is return water quantity, makeup water quality. Fine. So what is the necessity of water treatment? So I told you now there is a necessary of water treatment, feed water treatment. So where you treat the feed water, see, you will be feeding the boiler through this lakes or fresh lakes or ponds, etc. So from there you will be getting the water, and from there you will be, by using a pump, you will be pumping into the boiler. So while doing this one, the raw water from any water body contains variety of impurities such as suspended solid and turbidity. Turbidity means, I told you, silica materials, so small sand type of materials which is easily found in the lakes. So that we call as turbidity. And hardness is mainly for the calcium carbonate, CaCO3. So due to this one, it depends upon the amount of calcium carbonate contained in the water. If it is more, then the hardness of the water will become more. And alkalinity and silica, dissolved gases, microorganisms. So these are all the things the feed water will depends upon. So now the necessity of feed water treatment. So by using the feed water treatment, we can reduce this all the things. And next one, the necessity of feed water treatment. These impurities deposit on heat. See here, this is the tube. This is the tube used in your boiler. So while doing this one, while boiling the water, what happens? This tube will there you can see some scaling, black layer formed on the tube. So this black layer formed on the tube is mainly due to the scaling. Scaling means the deposition of impurities on the surface of the tube. So that we call as this scaling. So you can see lots of, and so our goal is to achieve like this, but the actual condition will be like this. So our goal is to 100% safe and reliable source of steam. So these rusted boiler tubes will mainly occur due to the more number of scaling at the top, at the surface of the tube. These impurities deposit on heat transfer surface in a power plant. This deposit leads to low conductivity, hinder heat transfer, restrict water flow, and corrosion and erosion of boiler tubes, turbine blades, and condenser tubes. So these impurities will cause this much of problems. Next one, we see about the internal water treatment. So how can you avoid? How can you make this water much more softened and much more, how can you increase the quality of this water? How can we increase the quality of the water? So for that one we can have two types, that is internal treatment and external water treatment. So in the internal water treatment is carried out by adding chemicals to boiler to prevent the formation of scale by converting the scale forming compounds to free flowing sludges, which can be removed by blowdown. So that we will discuss in next topic. So today only we discuss what is blowdown. Blowdown means removing the water from the boiler. So which can be removed by blowdown. This method is limited to boilers where feed water is low in hardness salts to low pressure high TDS. TDS means total dissolved solids. Total dissolved solids. So this we call as TDS. So total dissolved solids will be higher content, and boiler water is tolerated, and when only small quantity of water is required to be treated if these conditions are not applied. So if this internal water treatment is being mainly provided by giving some by treating the water with some chemicals, and this method, and it is much more effective for reducing the scale forming materials. Scale forming means the layers formed on the surface of the tube. Calcium carbonate layer, salt layer formed on the surface of the tube, that we call as scaling. So here we can see the normal tube here, and the tube which is formed by scale. So this is a tube which is formed, inside that we can see scaling, and here this is the normal. So same thing for scale formation. So here we can see the salt scale formation inside the tube and normal pipe here. So this we call as scaling. Okay, so there are lots of information. So here you can see the lots of scale formation inside the tube. Okay, so this is what we call about the scale formation. Okay, so next we see about the so this method is very effective for removing the scale formation and compounds, and these scale formed components can be removed effectively by free flowing sludges. Free flowing sludges means free flowing pieces of if the scale forming if the scales have been cut down into small pieces, that we call as sludges. So these sludges will be freely flowing, and it can be removed by blowdown. Okay, so this method is limited to boilers where feed water is low in hardness salts. So low in hardness salts means we get a fresh feed water which doesn't contain calcium carbonate and sodium carbonate, etc. So, and at low pressure high TDS content in boiler water is tolerated. Then then high rates of blowdown are required to dispose of sludges. They become uneconomical from heat and water loss consideration. So what happens? So here in the internal water treatment, so we will add some chemicals to the boiler, inside the boiler. So this boiler will remove the scaling. So one scale is formed, so that scale is being slightly dissolved in the water, and this scale can be easily removed by the this scale will be formed as small pieces, so that we call sludges, and these sludges can be removed through blowdown. So what happens, this blowdown is very this blowdown we should have to make continuously. So the continuous blowdowns, so high rates of blowdowns are required to dispose of the sludges. So we have to continuously remove the sludges for a time being. So they become uneconomical and from heat and water loss concentration. So what happens if you carry out the blow down for a particular time? This blow down will decrease your temperature inside the boiler. So what happens if you constantly remove the hot water which is being formed in your uh, uh, in your cooker or formed in your pot? What happens? So once if you remove the constant, if you take hot water continuously, then it takes more time to form the to make up this same, and if you replace it by fresh water, so it will take more time. So different waters require different chemicals. So this is also one more important point. And sodium carbonate, sodium aluminate, sodium phosphate, sodium sulfate and compounds of vegetable and inorganic origin are all used for this purpose. Okay. So sodium carbonate is also a chemical. Sodium aluminate is being used. Sodium phosphate is being used. Sodium sulfate is being used. And vegetable and inorganic origin are all used for as a chemicals to remove this scaling, and this scaling is being removed through sludges, and these sludges are being removed by blow down. Okay, I think you understood the internal water treatment. Next we see about external water treatment. So external water treatment is used to remove suspended solids, dissolved solids, particularly the calcium and magnesium ions, which are major cause of scale formation, and dissolved gases, oxygen and carbon dioxide. So what happens to this oxygen? Oxygen, if it is present in the boiler, this causes this oxygen will accelerate the corrosion rate. The corrosion occurring time will be accelerated once the oxygen presence is high inside the boiler. So that's why we need to remove the oxygen and carbon dioxide also. The external treatment process available are ion exchange, demineralization, reverse osmosis and deaeration. So this external water treatment is used to remove suspended solids and dissolved solids. Suspended solid and dissolved solids. And internal water treatment is used to remove the sludges. So what is sludges? Sludges is the small particles of scaling. Once if the scaling is being removed, it forms sludges. So we use internal water treatment for removing the scaling, and external water treatment for dissolved gases and suspended solids. Dissolved solids and dissolved gases. So these dissolved solids and dissolved gases cannot be effectively filtered out by the by internally. So it should be filtered out externally. Internal water treatment means it is being treated inside the boiler. External water treatment is it is treated external to the boiler, means apart in the that is the outside of the boiler. That is why we call it as external water treatment. So water treatment is done outside the boiler. That is this one. This we call as external water treatment. So water softening plant, these are all the external water treatment. So this we call as external water treatment. Okay, so before any of these are used, it is necessary to remove the suspended solids, colors from raw water, and because this may foul the resin used in the subsequent treatment section. So we need to remove the suspended solids. So methods of pre-treatment include simple sedimentation in settling tanks or settling in clarifiers, and with the aid of coagulants and flocculants. The pressure sand filters, and with spray aeration to remove carbon dioxide and iron may be used to remove the metal salts from borewell water. So this is how we can remove, that is by using the coagulants and flocculants and pressure sand filters. We can filter out the sand particles which is being present in the water, and with spray aeration to remove carbon dioxide. The first stage treatment is to remove the hardness salt and possibly non-hardness salts. So it is mainly used to remove the hardness salt. The removal of only hardness salt is called softening, while the removal of salts from solution is called as demineralization. So softening means the removal of hardness salts, and the next one, the removal of salts from the total removal of salts is called as the demineralization. So this removal of salts which we can feel while drinking the water from the borewell. So the water which you drink from the borewell and water which you drink from the rainwater or through well, it's both having different taste. So the borewell water is somewhat not tastier compared to your well water. So this is due to the presence of calcium carbonate, etc. So these materials, so this causes the hardness in the water. So the most 99% pure water we call as the rainwater. So if you can use that one, so the contents of calcium and magnesium in the rainwater is very lesser. Okay. So we can do either by internal and external water treatment. So I hope you understood this one. Next we go for the boiler blowdown. So boiler blowdown occurs when water is removed from a steam boiler while the boiler is operating. So while the boiler is operating, the water is removed from the steam boiler. Boilers are blown down to remove the suspended solids and bottom sludge from steam boiler. That is discussed in the internal treatment. So if you are having suspended sludge and etc., you can remove it by boiler blowdown. So what is boiler blowdown? So boiler blowdown means the removal of the waste waters, removal of waste particles which is being suspended at the bottom of the boiler. അതായത് ഒരു ബോയിലറിൻ്റെ ബോട്ടത്തിൽ കുറേ വേസ്റ്റ് പാർട്ടിക്കിൾ സസ്പെൻഡ് ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ടാവും അല്ലേ. അപ്പോൾ ഇപ്പോൾ നിങ്ങൾ നോക്കുക, നിങ്ങളിപ്പം വീട്ടിൽ ഒരു കിണറ്റിൽ നിന്ന് ഒരു കുടം വെള്ളം എടുത്തിട്ട് നിങ്ങൾ ഒരു പാത്രത്തിൽ ഇട്ട് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ അതിൻ്റെ ബോട്ടത്തിൽ എന്ത് ചെയ്തു, ചെറിയ ചെറിയ പാർട്ടിക്കിൾസൊക്കെ വന്ന് ബോട്ടത്ത് സ്ലഡ് ചെയ്യും അല്ലേ. ബോട്ടത്തിൽ ഇങ്ങനെ ഉണ്ടാവും. അത് ടോപ്പിലുണ്ടാവുമോ? ഒരിക്കലുമില്ല, താഴെ ഉണ്ടാവും. അപ്പോൾ ഇവിടെ എന്ത് ചെയ്യുക, ഇവിടെ ഒരു ബോയിലർ ആകുമ്പോൾ എന്താ ചെയ്യുക, ബോയിലർ ആകുമ്പോൾ അത് ഹൈ ടെമ്പറേച്ചറിൽ ബോയിൽ ചെയ്യും. അപ്പോൾ ഹൈ ടെമ്പറേച്ചർ ബോയിൽ ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ അതിനുണ്ടാവുന്ന ഡിസോൾഡ് പിന്നെ അൺഡിസോൾഡ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള പാർട്ടിക്കിൾസൊക്കെ ഉണ്ടാവും. അതൊക്കെ എന്ത് ചെയ്തു, അതൊക്കെ നേരെ താഴെ വന്ന് അത് സെഡിമെൻ്റ് ചെയ്യും. താഴെ വന്ന് അത് നിൽക്കും. താഴെ വന്ന് അത് this will all come and sediment on the bottom. So they form a scale layer. They form a layer on the bottom. So this should be removed by using the internal treatment, and this forms the sludges. So this you should have to constantly remove by blowdown. Blowdown means removing the water at the bottom side water matram remove cheytondikka. So this can be continuous process or this can be an intermittent process. So you can continuously remove some water at the bottom, or you can remove it from 5 minutes afterwards or 1 hour afterwards, like that. So boiler blowdown is water intentionally wasted from a boiler to avoid concentration of impurities during the continuing evaporation of steam. The water is blown out of the boiler with some force by steam pressure within the boiler. So why boiler blowdown? So the water which is circulated inside the boiler tubes and drum contains total dissolved solids along with other dissolved and undissolved solids. During the steam making process, that is when boiler is in operation, the water is heated and converted into steam. However, these dissolved solids do not evaporate and get separated from the water or steam, and they tend to settle at the bottom of the boiler shell due to their weight. This layer will prevent the transfer of heat aimed at the gases and water, and eventually overheating the boiler tubes or shell. Okay. സോ അതായത് നിങ്ങളിത് ബോയിലിൻ്റെ ബോട്ടത്തിൽ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് കൂടുതൽ പാർട്ടിക്കിൾസ് കൂടുതൽ സസ്പെൻഡ് ചെയ്ത് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ അതേ ഹീറ്റ് ചെയ്യാൻ വേണ്ടി നിങ്ങൾക്ക് കൂടുതലും ഹീറ്റ് വേണ്ടി വരും. അങ്ങനെ ഹീറ്റ് ചെയ്ത് അതിൻ്റെ ബോയിലിൻ്റെ എഫിഷ്യൻസി ഡിക്രീസ് ചെയ്യും. പിന്നെ ചിലപ്പം അധികം ഹീറ്റ് ചെയ്ത് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ബോയിലിൻ്റെ ട്യൂബ് തന്നെ പൊട്ടിപ്പോകാൻ ചാൻസ് ഉണ്ട്. സോ അതാണ് ഇതിൽ പറയുന്നത്. So different dissolved and undissolved solids leads to the scaling, corrosion, erosion, etc. Solid impurities will also be carried over with the steam into the steam system, leading to the deposits inside the heat exchanger surface, where the steam is the primary heating medium. To minimize all these problems, boiler blowdown is done, which helps in removing the carbon deposits and other forms of impurities. So there are two types of blowdown. One is continuous blowdown and another is intermittent blowdown. So we see about continuous blowdown. So continuous blowdown, as the term implies, is the continuous removal of water from the boiler. It offers many advantages not provided by the use of bottom blowdown alone. For instance, water may be removed from the location of highest dissolved solids in the boiler water. So as a result, the proper boiler water quality can be maintained at all times. Also, a maximum of undissolved solids may be removed with minimum loss of water and heat from the boiler. So it is continuously removing the water it is continuously removing the bottom side of the boiler water. So like this you can reduce the sludge, reduce the scaling formation in the bottom of the boiler, and also you can improve the efficiency of the boiler. So and the another major benefits of continuous blowdown is the recovery of large amount of its heat content through the use of blowdown flash tank and heat exchanger. So what is blowdown flash tank means? So the blowdown flash tank, say the bottom layer of the blowdown water contains which you blow down, that is which you remove the water, will be having a temperature of 95 degrees centigrade. So this hot water can be treated to the water which is being fed to the boiler. So and also through the heat exchangers by using it. So like this also we can treat. So this I will show you right now. You see here the water is being blown down, and you can see the blower pit here, and samely you can also see this one plant. So here we can have boiler. In the bottom of that we can have bottom blowdown. So from that blowdown it is being fed to the flash tank, and then it is fed to the flash steam deaerator. So what happens, this feed water can be circulated to this flash tank. So once if you are feeding this water, after the flash tank it is being fed to the deaerator. So the condensate return water is being fed to the deaerator. So what is mean by deaerator? Deaerator is nothing but it will remove the dissolved oxygen in your condensed water, condensed or feed water. അതായത് ഫീഡ് വാട്ടറിൽ ഉണ്ടാവുന്നത് ഡിസോൾവ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഓക്സിജനെ ഒരു പമ്പ് ഉപയോഗിച്ച് അത് റിമൂവ് ചെയ്യും. അതാണ് ഡിയറേറ്റർ ചെയ്യുന്നത്. അപ്പം ഈ ഡിയറേറ്ററിൽ നിന്ന് കിട്ടുന്ന ആ വാട്ടറിനെ നിങ്ങൾ എന്ത് ചെയ്താൽ ഒരിക്കൽ കൂടി ഹീറ്റ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റും നിങ്ങൾക്ക്. അതായത് ബോയിലറിൽ പോയിട്ട് നിങ്ങൾക്ക് 95 ഡിഗ്രി കിട്ടുന്ന കാട്ടി മുമ്പേ ഈ ഫ്ലാഷ് അതായത് ഈ ബ്ലോഡൗൺ വാട്ടറിന് നിങ്ങൾക്ക് കിട്ടുന്നുണ്ടാവുമല്ലോ, ഒരു ഹീറ്റ് ഉണ്ടാവുമല്ലോ. ഞാൻ നേരത്തെ കാണിച്ച പോലെ ഒരു 95 ഡിഗ്രി ഇത്രയും ഹൈ ഹീറ്റുള്ള വാട്ടറിന് നിങ്ങൾക്ക് എന്തുകൊണ്ട് ഈ ഫീഡ് വാട്ടറിന് തന്നെ ഒരിക്കൽ കൂടെ ട്രീറ്റ് ചെയ്ത് കൂടാ. അതായത് ഫ്ലാഷ് ടാങ്ക് വെച്ചിട്ട് ഫീഡ് വാട്ടറിനെ ട്രീറ്റ് ചെയ്തു. സോ അതാണ് നമ്മുടെ ഹീറ്റ് എക്സ്ചേഞ്ചർ. ഹീറ്റ് എക്സ്ചേഞ്ചർ എന്ന് പറയാൻ എന്താ, സോ ഹൈ ഹീറ്റിൽ നിന്ന് ലോ ഹീറ്റിലേക്ക് ഹീറ്റ് ട്രാൻസ്ഫർ ചെയ്യാം. സോ അത് നമ്മൾ എന്താ പറയുക, ഹീറ്റ് എക്സ്ചേഞ്ച് പറയാം. സോ ഇവിടെ ഈ കണ്ടൻസറായിട്ടുള്ള വരുന്ന വാട്ടറിന് ഹീറ്റ് വളരെ കുറവായിരിക്കും. അപ്പോൾ അത് ഒരു കോൾഡ് വാട്ടർ പോലെ ഉണ്ടാവും, ഒരു 20 ഡിഗ്രി 30 ഡിഗ്രി ഉണ്ടാവും. സോ ഇവിടെ കിട്ടുന്ന വാട്ടർ, അതായത് ബ്ലോ ഡൗണിൽ കിട്ടുന്ന വാട്ടർ എത്ര 95 ഡിഗ്രി സെൻറ്റിഗ്രേഡ് ഉണ്ടാവും. സോ അങ്ങനെ നമുക്ക് എന്താ ചെയ്യുക, ഹീറ്റ് എക്സ്ചേഞ്ച് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റും. സോ ലൈക്ക് ദിസ് യു ക്യാൻ ഡു. So this is how the control valve settings must be adjusted regularly to increase or decrease the blow down. So by using particular control valve you can increase or decrease the blow down according to control the test results and to maintain the closed control of boiler water concentration at all times. When continuous blow down is used, manual blow down is usually limited to approximately 1 short blow per shift to remove suspended solids which may have settled out near the manual blow down connection. So next we see about the in next class we see about the intermittent blow down. Okay, fine.